The first mistake Princess Valera made was calling Captain Elias Voss her pet. The second mistake was smiling when she said it, because in the Azarine Empire, that word meant ownership, humiliation, obedience. And every noble in the crystal throne chamber understood the insult. He did not bow. That was the moment the silence changed. Elias stood on the sapphire floor, wrists locked in magnetic cuffs. Uniform torn from the raid on Kestrel Station, blood drying along his jaw. Yet he looked less like a prisoner than the armored guards around him. The Azarine had conquered 13 systems, broken fleets, stripped moons, and turned kings into trophies. Now their youngest princess had dragged a human captain before the court as proof that Earth could kneel. Valera descended the crystal steps. She lifted his chin with one jeweled claw. "You fought well for a pet," she said. The guards laughed first, then the nobles followed. But Elias only looked at her, and for the first time that day, Princess Valera stopped smiling because his eyes did not carry fear. They carried measurement. He was counting exits, weapons, distances, shield pulses, the delay between a guard's blink and his armor's sensor sweep. Imperial intelligence said humans were emotional, reckless, easy to provoke, but this one was quiet. Too quiet, like a sealed reactor. Never call a human small when his hands are tied. Valera leaned closer. "Tell me, pet, do humans beg before they die?" Elias finally spoke, voice dry as dust. "No, Your Highness. We negotiate afterward." Some nobles laughed, some did not, because the translator rendered the words perfectly. And behind the throne, an old admiral felt warning slide down his spine. Then the alarm screamed, not from orbit, not from the defense grid, from inside the throne chamber itself. Every crystal pillar flashed crimson, every door sealed. And on the tactical screen above the throne, 13 Imperial warships vanished from formation. Not destroyed, simply blind, deaf, and drifting. Valera's expression hardened. "What have you done?" Elias raised his cuffed hands slightly. "Nothing with these." Then the floor beneath the nobles vibrated. A human voice came over the palace speakers. "Calm, professional, almost bored, Captain Voss. This is Lieutenant Mara Quinn. Palace network is compromised. Orbital guns are asleep. And your pet princess is standing beside emergency access conduit 7. The court froze. Elias glanced at Valera. That one was not me. And that was when the Empire learned humans did not rescue prisoners. They retrieved detonators. The magnetic cuffs clicked open. A small black ring rolled from Ilias's sleeve and landed beside Valera's boot. The guards fired. But the ring projected a golden field that swallowed the first shots and turned the rest into sparks. Elias moved then, not beautifully, not like Azarine duelists who made killing an art. He moved like a creature trained by pressure doors and failing engines. One elbow shattered a visor, one knee folded a guard. One stolen rifle became a club. He did not waste motion, posture, or anger. That frightened Valera more than rage would have. She drew her ceremonial blade, blue fire running along its edge. "You forget yourself, human," Elias turned. Breathing hard, not yet, the palace ceiling split open. Precision lasers carving circles through crystal. And through the smoke descended 10 humans in matte black boarding armor. Boots striking the floor in one thunderous rhythm, no banners, no speeches. Just visors and weapons locked on every Imperial skull. One of them tossed Elias a sidearm. He caught it without looking. Valera suddenly understood. The raid on Kestrel Station had not captured him. It had delivered him. That truth landed harder than any weapon. Valera lunged at Elias, and for one heartbeat the chamber saw why she was feared. She was terrifyingly fast. Her blade cut through the air where his throat had been. Her second strike burned across his shoulder. Her third would have opened his chest. But Elias stepped inside the ark instead of away from it. The princess had studied human ships, weapons, and languages. She had not studied the madness of a species that survived by closing distance with things larger than itself. He caught her wrist with his burned hand, headbutted her crown hard enough to crack the gold, and said, very softly, "Do not call me pet again." Then he disarmed her, not gently. The blade skidded across the sapphire floor and stopped at the old admiral's feet. He did not pick it up. Here is the part the Empire never put in its histories. Elias did not kill her. He could have. Every noble knew it, because his sidearm was pressed beneath her ribs, and his finger was steady. But instead he stepped back, breathing smoke and blood, and looked toward the Imperial broadcast lens near the throne. "To every occupied world," he said, "this palace is under human control. Your fleets are blind, your governors are cut off, your vaults are unlocked, and your prisoners are free. We are not here to rule you. We are here to remind you that empires are immortal only until someone refuses to perform fear." Across 13 systems, prison gates opened, collars fell, flags vanished, and people who had forgotten hope began to cry. And in the throne chamber, Princess Valera stared at the human she had called pet. She expected triumph, cruelty, revenge, the hunger of a lesser species standing over its betters. But Elias only looked tired, the way humans looked after doing the impossible and already counting the cost. "Why spare me?" she asked. Elias holstered the sidearm. "Because someone has to tell the next emperor what happened here." Valera's voice cracked. "And what happened here?" He stepped closer. A princess mistook mercy for weakness, chains for control, and silence for surrender. Then he walked past her. By sunset, the Azaran Empire was not fully defeated. Empires do not die in one afternoon. But the myth of Azaran inevitability died there on a sapphire floor, beside a cracked crown and a fallen blade, years later. When Valera ruled what remained of her people, she banned sentient captivity, opened negotiations with the worlds her family had broken, and kept one human phrase carved above the rebuilt throne: "Never mistake restraint for submission." And when children asked why the old throne room had a circle of darker stone at its center, teachers told them a human captain once stood there in chains. A princess called him pet, and the stars themselves leaned in to hear what happened next. She called him pet once, never twice.